It is better to be hated for what you are than to be loved for what you are not. It sounds dramatic, it sounds harsh, but maybe it's the truest expression of freedom. Because what is love worth if it's built on a lie? And what is acceptance if it comes at the cost of yourself? Today on The Missing Why, we examine a quote that punches through the heart of modern life. Why authenticity is painful, why approval can be prison, and why being real, even when rejected, is the beginning of real peace. Part 1. Who was André Gide? André Gide was a French writer and Nobel laureate. He lived in a deeply conservative era. He was openly gay at a time when that truth came at great cost. His words were not metaphor, they were lived. He chose truth over performance, and through that lens, the quote becomes less about rebellion and more about liberation. To be hated for what you are means you've stopped hiding. To be loved for what you are not means you're still in costume. Part 2. The seduction of being loved. We all want to be loved. It's in our biology. As children, we learn early, acceptance equals survival. So we start shaping ourselves to fit the expectations of parents, the demands of culture, the image others want to see. We become the peacemaker, the achiever, the agreeable one, and slowly, we disconnect from what we truly are. Not because we're liars, but because we're afraid. Part 3. The emotional cost of pretending. Pretending has a cost. Chronic anxiety, identity confusion, exhaustion from managing impressions, deep loneliness, even when surrounded, because deep down we whisper, they love the mask, not me. And worse, if they saw the real me, would they stay? That fear traps us until the pain of hiding outweighs the fear of being seen. Part 4. The courage to be hated. This is where Gide's quote becomes a challenge. Can you risk disapproval for truth, be misunderstood, and not collapse? Stand in your skin and say, this is me, not in defiance, but in dignity. Because sometimes the love given to a false self is actually a quiet form of erasure. Part 5. Historical figures who chose authenticity. Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, Alan Turing, Frida Kahlo. Each was told, you don't fit, be something else. Each replied, no, and their truth outlived their critics. Part 6. Psychological perspective. Carl Jung once said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. But psychologists also say, authenticity often triggers rejection, sensitivity. That's why we struggle to say what we mean, show what we feel, pursue what we love. Because being real means being vulnerable, and vulnerability requires inner safety. Part 7. Modern pressure to perform. In today's world, authenticity is filtered. Individuality is branded. Vulnerability is monetized. We curate personas. The intellectual, the rebel, the perfect parent, the mindful hustler. And yet, depression and loneliness grow. Because people aren't starving for success, they're starving for realness. Part 8. How to practice living as you. Start here. 1. Notice when you edit yourself. 2. Say the thing you always avoid. 3. Get okay with not being liked. 4. Build spaces that hold your truth. 5. Speak from your scars, not your mask. It makes you human, not weak. Closing reflection. Love is beautiful, but borrowed love, given to your disguise, is a cage. It is better, harder, lonelier, scarier to be disliked for truth than adored for illusion. So today, ask yourself, who am I when I stop performing? Would I still choose me if others didn't? Because if the answer is yes, you are free. This is The Missing Why, where we don't tell you how to be liked. We ask, who are you really when no one is watching? Subscribe.